viewers, good morning. It is 6:17 a.m. Let me take this time to welcome you to Sunrise here on Tobago Updates Television. I am your host, Lavian Cupid, and today is a Monday, the 2nd of February, 2026. Before I came on screen, we saw that beautiful aerial view of Scarborough. The sun is rising, such a lovely orange hue. Kudos goes out to the technical crew, as I told you before. Not only because you see me looking here all pretty on the mornings, it's not just me, it's an entire team working hard, quite assiduously in the background. Kudos goes out to Aaron and the team this morning for their hard work. Thank you so much for joining us here on Sunrise on Tobago Updates Television. Whether you are viewing us on Instagram, that's YouTube or Facebook, or you are viewing us on AMPLIA Flow or Digicel, thank you for making Tobago Updates Television your #1 choice for coverage each and every morning as we delve into current affairs, topics. So much has been happening over the weekend in Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago as a wider entity, from some unfortunate news of crime to even excitement with Panorama and Calypso. But of course, I am here this morning where I will take you through the morning brief as we keep you updated with all things current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago as a wider entity, regionally and internationally. So kick-starting quite strongly this morning. A combination of mechanical failures and accidents has disrupted the inter-island sea bridge, putting Tobago's transport system under strain. The passenger ferry TNT Spirit was withdrawn from service after a mechanical breakdown on Sunday while en route from Port of Spain to Scarborough. The vessel arrived safely but delayed at 3:32 p.m. yesterday with all passengers and crew unharmed. Its removal from service along with the Buku Reef being on dry dock has significantly reduced the passenger capacity. Meanwhile, the cargo vessel MV Blue Wave Harmony, meant to replace the MV Cabo Star, was damaged during its second sea trial on Thursday night after striking the bridge. An incident reportedly worsened by weather conditions. The damage, including a gash to the hull warping, has kept the vessel docked in Scarborough despite recent class approval. With 2 vessels under repair and 1 in dry dock, authorities face mounting pressure to stabilize the sea bridge and protect supply chain on the island. So we see video coverage there of the damage done to the Blue Wave Harmony. Reports on the island of empty supermarket shelves over the past weekend, the week into the weekend. Of course, that is a cause of concern. We here on the island, we depend heavily on the inter-island ferry service to be operational, fully operational at least at the maximum capacity, 80% and upward, because our very lives depend on the cargo that we receive, and also just being able to go to Trinidad to conduct business, go to medical appointments, etc. And so actually this morning our conversation will be surrounding that topic. But continuing, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar held a high-level meeting on Friday with Chief Secretary Fali Augustine at the office of the Prime Minister to address national development priorities and issues specific to Tobago. The meeting included key government officials such as the Attorney General, Minister of Finance, and the Minister of Land and Legal Affairs, highlighting the significance of the discussions. Talks centered on strengthening cooperation between the central government and the Tobago House of Assembly, improving targeted assistance, and better supporting the Chief Secretary in carrying out his responsibilities. But with some good news. Moving swiftly along into some things surrounding Carnival. Not forgetting that it is National Carnival, and us here Tobagonians, we are trying to focus on Tobago's late year carnival. We no longer want to say Tobago's October Carnival. Tobago's Carnival, but it's still National Carnival. We're still participating. And the Division of Tourism, Antiquities and Creative Industries congratulated Tobago's outstanding students who have advanced to the final round of the TUCO First Citizens Small Town National Junior Calypso Monarch 2026 competition, which will be held at the Queen's Park, Savannah. These include Kalia Ramsey, Swansea, representing Bishop's High School. Coquise Davidson, that's a past baby of mine. Signal Hill Secondary School, and Nataki Thompson, representing Scarborough Secondary School. Kudos goes out to those lovely, lovely young ladies. Tobago strong indeed. Tobago, stand up and give our people, our youths, a round of applause. All right, and taking a look nationally. Has a state of emergency ended at midnight on Saturday, January 31st, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar warned the criminal gangs. She said her government will not hesitate to reimpose another state of emergency if violence resumed. She said law-abiding citizens were tired of crime and promised to use all legal measures to dismantle gangs and anyone who support them, further stating that she intended to go after the families of those involved in crime. The PM credited the SOE stronger border security with the U.S. support, police leadership, and detention orders for a sharp drop in violent crime, noting 257 fewer murders in 2025 compared to 2024. Persad-Bissessar dismissed critics and vowed that the state would confront any attempts to destabilize the country. Also, we saw there yesterday, still at the forefront of conversations, but not the forefront of our conversation this morning, as the inter-island challenges is what's going to take charge of our conversation this morning as we bring it home a little bit more. But yesterday we saw protest action in Port of Spain, right in front of the Red House, protesting the perceived extrajudicial killing of Mr. Samaru last week. That was January 20th. That would have been the week before. And the injuring and subsequent reports that she's now paralyzed, his common law wife. We saw protest action. We even saw guard and emergency branch. Well, they did come out of the vehicle and engage with the protest. Senior police officers in khaki there also trying to dismantle the process. But we saw the two young ladies who organized the protest saying, listen, we sent in our letters as the law, as the Constitution says that we do 8 hours before. It was acknowledged and we are here. We are using our voices and we must be able to, must be allowed to continue the process. We heard chants of Guevara must go and police killings must stop. So that conversation is going nowhere, no time soon, as persons call for justice for Mr. Samaru and Miss Seeley. All right, so we're taking a look in the region. And Cuba is reportedly running out of oil with only 15 to 20 days supply left. Reports out of Havana say electricity runs for approximately 4 hours per day. Yeah, that's 4 hours per day out of 24 hours. So that's 20 hours of darkness, 20 hours down, and only 4 days as blackout spread and fuel is tightly being rationed. For years, Venezuela had been Cuba's lifeline, but that supply collapsed following the January 3rd U.S. capture of President Nicolas Maduro. The U.S. has also warned other countries against sending oil to the island, further tightening sanctions to isolate Havana. Mexico, one of Cuba's last remaining suppliers, sent the last shipment, which arrived on January 9th. Very, very concerned. We saw U.S. President Donald Trump saying he's expecting to see Cuba's government, Cuba's regime collapse anytime soon. All right, and finally, wrapping up internationally, 12 miners have been killed by a Russian drone strike in eastern Ukraine, hitting the country's largest private energy firm. Reports indicate that a bus carrying workers after a shift had been targeted in Sunday's attack. Seen a picture of the bus right there. At least 15 people were injured earlier. At least 2 others were killed and 9 injured in separate Russian attacks overnight on Sunday, including 6 people who were hurt when a drone hit a maternity hospital. The strikes come while Russia had agreed not to target population centers and energy infrastructure for the duration of a cold snap. Strikes have continued in regions of Ukraine and near the front line, but cities like the capital Kyiv have largely been untouched over the past few days. So we see that war that President Trump said he would have ended on his first day in office still continuing. His inauguration was last January, so a year in, and the war still continuing. We know that there are going to be some peace talks in Abu Dhabi later on this week. That is what we will always hope for. All right, so that's it for your morning brief here on Sunrise here on Tobago Updates Television, where we keep you updated with all things current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago's a wider entity, regionally and internationally. As mentioned before, we are going to focus our conversations this morning on the inter-island transportation challenges facing the island, facing Tobago specifically right now. Of course, we know Trinidadians also depend on it, but our very livelihoods depend on a working inter-island system. And so with the challenges that we are facing right now, we will be having conversations this morning surrounding that. Of course, reports came in earlier that supermarket shelves are dry. And we also have the farmers in Tobago. They have not been able to receive stock to feed their livestock, feed and so on. So we will be having that conversation right after we come back from this short break. We want to thank you so much for choosing Sunrise, and thank you so much for choosing Tobago Updates Television. When we return, we will be speaking to the chairman of the Tobago division of the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Commerce. That is Mr. Curtis Williams. In the meantime, I want you to enjoy this beautiful aerial view and do me a favor and share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be back.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. More, live more.
Viewers, welcome back to Sunrise here on Tobago Updates Television. Thank you so much for staying with us, and thank you so much for choosing us. As I mentioned before we went for the break, we will be speaking to none other than the chairman of the Tobago division of the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Commerce, Curtis Williams, as we talk about supply chain here on the island as we face inter-island transportation challenges. Mr. Williams, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us on Sunrise.
Good morning to your viewers and listeners. It's a pleasure being here.
All right, let me just clear up some technical difficulties here. I'm not hearing you. Are you hearing me, sir? Right, viewers, so we're going to work, the technical team is going to work on getting Mr. Williams on clearly as we dive into the conversation this morning, because of course, islanders here, we don't want to go to the supermarket and see empty shelves. That is always a scary thing. Food, medical supplies, and even hardware supplies, these are all very important cargo necessities that we need over here on the island just to continue our everyday lives. And so these inter-island challenges, I mean, it was very, very unfortunate to learn that last Thursday during the exercise, the MV Blue Wave Harmony, as we would have showed you that video before, with that very large gash, a couple feet, could be about 2-3 feet, probably even longer, in the ship's hull. And so even that vessel would not be able to be a part of the system until it's repaired. All right, so we're going to try again for Mr. Williams. That is the chairman. Good morning, Mr. Williams. Are you hearing me clearly, sir?
Yes, I'm hearing you. You hearing me?
All right, he is hearing me, but I am not hearing him quite clearly.
Wow.
So
Are you hearing me?
I'm now hearing you, sir. Good morning. I'm hearing you a bit more.
Again.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
All right. So we would have heard over the weekend of dry supermarket shelves, also the challenges that we have farmers being faced with no feed to feed their livestock. Farmers are being now having to try to help each other out, share a bag here, give some here, and try to be as innovative as possible. As a chairman of the Tobago division of the TNT Commerce, what are the reports coming in to the organization right now where supply chain is concerned on the island? What are the challenges, most grievous challenges you all have heard about thus far?
Well, the reports coming in from our members, and even some of them our non-members. My phone was ringing again up to yesterday. I was in touch with 2 members in the food and beverage area, even in the construction area, and they were really, really pressing. They were under tremendous pressure, knowing that the Cabo Star was leaving between the 10th, 12th, and we expected something on the sea bridge. We do realize that there was the new Harmony, the new wave, and now we see the new wave was doing the sea trial, and it got damaged in Tobago, and then now we see the Cabo Star gone, the new wave damaged, and then we asked the Spirit to assist, and the Spirit is down now. The Spirit have mechanical issues; they cannot take the load. I don't know what's happening with the Spirit. So we all left with the Galleon Passage. The Galleon Passage just could bring, maybe I just say passengers and cars. There's nothing much could go on the Galleon Passage. The capacity is not there. So with that, and we never anticipate something like this. It's no way we anticipate that we will have been out of a cargo vessel for such a long period. And with that in mind, as I indicated, every single day that vessel comes to Tobago, that Cabo Star, it used to be helping out. And now as it's down for the last 3 weeks, the effect is there. The effect is there on the construction sector. There are folks that can't do nothing. All the projects have to go at a standstill for the last 2 weeks. Then we see the food and beverage sector. The inventory is getting real low, dying low. And we don't talk about the supermarkets. And they're complaining. They're really complaining. Some are complaining in silence, and some are really saying to me, this is what's happening. But we are asking other associations and other folks who are having challenges, please come forward and say what your challenges are. Because the Tobagonians, we're suffering in silence. I don't know why we're not speaking up.
And has the chamber received any word, or businesses received any word from the Tobago House of Assembly? Has there been any talks, or even from the Ministry of Works in Trinidad? Any talks?
Zero.
Nothing as yet. And has the chamber reached out to Chief Secretary Falia Augustine, or anyone from the executive of the Tobago House of Assembly?
Well, today is going to be the first day, and we intend to pen some calls and to meet out to the relevant authority, the Port Authority, the Ministry of Works, and also the chief secretary, because they can say something on behalf of us. And I mean, something comforting, I don't know, but let's face reality. This is what's happening on the island. I mean, we can't get cargo across the island. And I know most of these construction projects that have been carted to start cannot just start. There's no cement. I mean, the bulk cement that used to come for the ready mix, there's none. There are 5 projects I know I can tell you offhand now that is definitely stopped. Small projects because there's no cement for the ready mix to pour cement. There's none whatsoever. And even some of these supermarkets, they call me bitterly complaining about their stock level. Most of them will have already reached their past stock level, and the reorder level is there, and that things is really grim for them. When they're supposed to be carrying 4 or 5 of one type, they probably have 2 or 1. In some instances, in some of the suppliers on them, they just don't have the items on them. Because remember, these larger trucks on wherever brings the item. Now, as the spirit is down, the items cannot go onto this the Galleon Passage. The Galleon Passage really can't carry the heavier trucks, and it really can't carry much. It's a very, very fragile vessel. So we all have to sit and wait, and I think it is upon the business community to say something. And just don't sit and cry in silence. Everybody going in a corner and just murmuring about themselves. I don't know what they're going to do, but that's what they do.
And so how long do you see this issue persisting later into this week, later into next week? Do you see it? Because essentially all we have right now is the Galleon's Passage. So how long do you see this even persisting into the week and even into next week? And how dire do you think that our supermarket shelves and even for the capacity for the farmers are looking right now?
Well, I can tell them that they probably have to hold out another week or so. When I look at the damage to the blue wave, and I see all the hull dead, I mean, extremely damaged, they will have to probably patch that in Tobago and let the vessel link down to Trinidad, and then do a proper patching, and then get your inspectors to inspect, get all the surveyors to come in and check it out to make sure that it's seaworthy, because you don't want to be going out there and spring a leak. Because when you look at the size of the hole, you're actually seeing right through the vessel. And that's a huge hole. That's not a small hole. That's not a little scrape. That's a huge hole. And so these have to be done properly. And so the owners will have to bring in their expertise, and then surveyors have to come in, insurance had to come in, and all the other aspects of people have to come in to really make sure that vessel is seaworthy and going out there to be safe, to even carry passengers as much as cargo. It definitely have to be. So I roughly give them approximately a week to get it. By Friday, we're hoping that things get back to normal and we could get it first sealing and getting some cargo and back up to Tobago, because that will be, it will be going on a month, and it will really hurt us. It's already hurting. By just not sailing from the 12th to now, it's already a challenge. And now that you just don't know when it's sailing, it's getting a bit of anxiety for the business community.
But not only just for the business community, because even now citizens are learning that, grocery shelves are being empty. Sometimes you don't take into consideration how their situation is until it trickles down to you. My other question to you, sir, is do you think that from your view, from where you sit, that the government could look at leasing another vessel in a short interim that could probably come from a neighboring country or something within this week to be able to augment this deplete of the fleet?
We are open to all options. What is definitely can give us a short-term fix, because we can't continue like this. So we are open to all options that can happen. And just as you stated before, the trickle-down effects on the Tobagonians, there's so much things happening in this space that the Tobagonians are kept very quiet about. Just to draw an example, the liquor license is going to increase for small business, SMEs. A guy who have a mini mart in the country and have a little bar selling alcohol, his price is going to move from $1,800 to $9,000, and nobody says anything about that. And we will be talking about natural gas. Actually, yesterday was the 1st of February. I don't know if anyone is reading the news that the natural gas prices paid by the Trinidad and Tobago manufacturers on them, it's definitely going to increase. And all these increases are going to have some effect on us, the business community, those people who are actually the triple down effect of those who go in the grocery to buy, who like their favorite drinks, they will be paid more for them. And so the dollar that you have would just be worth maybe just 10 cents in your hands sooner or later, because the power of that dollar is actually going to shrink. So you will not have a dollar in your hand. It may look red and look like a dollar, but it might be just 10 cents in terms of purchasing.
Right. What do you see overall, all these instances, this development doing to Tobago's economy? Tobago's economy, which we know over the past 4 years already needed a boost, already needed some fixing. What do you see projected for Tobago's economy with these new developments?
Well, most of the times we can't predict. We could not predict that the vessel, one, will have breakdown during the sea trial. Two, we couldn't predict that the spirit just couldn't take the jam in. It really couldn't take the licks that it will be giving it. We have been pushing it for quite some time. It's an old vessel, and we couldn't predict these things. These things happen. But again, what we have in place in case these things happen? And that's what we tell in the port. And that was I was singing the song I was singing all the time. Some of these stuff are just short term, but what is it for the medium and the long term measure for Tobago and having a viable cargo vessel moving between the island, whether it's one vessel or two vessels, two smaller vessels with the capacity that they could, if one break down, we have a next one, and the vessel one could be in Trinidad, one could be in Tobago, something a little more viable than what we have. So that could be the long-term, medium to long-term plan. But someone needs to say something, and we need to hear from the government. Everybody hides behind a piece of paper called press release. Nobody wants to come out and face the media and let the media ask you they had questions. Everybody hides behind this sheet of paper called press release. So it's only press release. Yesterday I got about 5 press releases. I don't know what else they're going to give me. Like the press release going to pay my mortgage or going to pay my loan. I don't know. You know, it's a lot of press release. And these were reality. We face reality here in the business community. We on the ground and we face reality. And I know the suppliers in Trinidad is having the same problem. They can't send the goods to Tobago, and in some instances they decide, well, we don't want to send any to Tobago. So we, the community here with the business community, will be suffering. We will be under pressure, but we're not saying much. Everybody's a bit quiet, and I don't know why. This real quietness from Tobago business community is really, really strange.
Yeah. During the meeting last year, I believe it was last year, June, that the Tobago House of Assembly would have had a meeting with the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, Minister Jerlene John. I think the chamber was a part of it. Even as we speak to plans moving forward, because we seem to always end up in this situation. If there is another meeting, and I don't know if during that meeting, but was it mentioned that we should have at least, well, more than 2 cargo ships because of incidents and accidents, because it's mechanical, because it's man-made, because something could happen that will have it down, so that we could always have a backup and that Tobago doesn't every couple of years end up in this situation? Was any recommendations like that made, and was the government open to looking at that? Or is it that they were just looking at replacing the MV Cabo Star with the MV Blue Wave, and that's what we're going to have?
Well, the meeting's gone by. We spoke to the Port Authority, we spoke to NITCO and the then government. We spoke to them about having alternate vessels. We put all the suggestions, all the challenges that the business committee and the others, and I mean, where the truckers, or where the hotel association, all these people have been affected by this, and all these people need to see something what's happening in their sector. And let us get an overall view of what's happening on the island, instead of the chamber. They will say, I know I'm the only one speaking. I'm like, it's only the chamber has been affected, but there are other folks that have been affected, and we did indicate it to them about these things before, and so it's all in the mix. It's all, we wrote papers upon papers, and so NITCO and all of them have, and the Port Authority, especially the Port Authority, they have all the information about the suggestions that we, the business community, we, the chamber, let me don't say the business community anymore, let me say the chamber, we, the Tobago division, indicated to these people in black and white, all of them, the Port Authority, NITCO, the ministry, in black and white, what are some of the suggestions, and all that you have just mentioned. Some of those were some of the suggestions that we said to them. We're not coming to just complain because we want to complain. We are also giving solutions. And that's what the chamber does. We're giving solutions as how to treat with this. Because when the vessel is down, like now from the 10th to today, which we are actually in February, and we're into Carnival, and there's so much folks calling my phone nonstop. My phone rings nonstop from since Saturday. I can't get a little chance to even go to church. My phone just kept ringing. And because everybody's suffering and people is feeling pressure and they want the chamber to represent them. Some of them are not members, but we still talk on behalf of the business community because we are a responsible organization.
Right. And even so, as we speak to the other sectors, because there is the truckers, and just to mention that we did reach out to the truckers and we're hoping to have some feedback from them. We have the truckers, we have the hotel association as well, and we, as you did mention, it's sort of chirps. We're not hearing much from them. Any comments as to why you think we're not hearing much from them? Because they are being gravely affected.
Of course, and the deafening silence. There's a total deafening silence. You would want to believe that the Chamber is the only organization in Tobago that have a voice or advocate for on behalf of business community on the island. But there are other organizations, and I would like them to say something so that it don't look like if it's Curtis alone here in the Chamber and we always complaining about issues. But we are talking on behalf of our members. This is a members organization, and we speak on behalf of our members, and that's what we do. But there are other players in the field. There are people in the Supermarket Association. There are all these other players there. The Supermarket Association and there are Contractors Association. There's so much association around, but it's only the Chamber saying something, and I don't know why.
But I want to go back a bit though. Did the farmers actually reach out to the Chamber to say anything besides the feed and so on, that challenges that they are facing right now? Or was that the only information?
Not a word. Not a word. Not a single word.
Not a word.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They have a challenge with the feed because the feed normally comes up on the flatbed with containers, and again, the fast ferry, which is the express and the passage, cannot bring the capacity that these folks wanted. So they may be able to bring probably a couple of bags on some small truck, but that really cannot do much for some of the farmers and them on the island. But they're not saying anything. Everybody just quiet, very quiet, very, very quiet. I don't know why.
And any word on when the Buku Reef would be back out? Because we know that the Buku Reef is currently on dry dock. Any word on that? And
no,
how,
we haven't.
And yeah, how that might be able to boost if it is back out?
Well, those fast ferries really can't do much. They all they can do is carry passengers. Remember, those vessels are brand new and they're all soft. So our heavy trucks can't get on those vessels. So no, I mean, as much as look at the simple thing like the bread. We were always speaking about bread and kiss, and look at all the shelves. You can go in the supermarket shelf. Yeah, you don't need to ask me. You can go yourself. You and your camera crew could go to some of them and see how empty the shelves are, where they normally host the bread and some other items like the biscuits and other items from Bermudas and all of it. You could see it for yourself. You could see it for yourself. I urge the reporters in Tobago to visit these supermarkets, visit these hardwares, and interview the owners. And when they refuse to be interviewed, come back on air and said that they refuse to be interviewed because they are the ones seeing the issues in front of them and they're just not saying anything. Like, I don't know if they're shy. I don't know what's happening. I'm totally lost. I'm really lost. But they are the ones seeing it. But they will pick up their phone and call me behind the scene. And I don't know why they don't come on the air and say, well, yes, I'm having some challenges and I'm hoping that things could be all right. That is what we want. We want people to be open and transparent in what's happening and don't let it look like it's just the chamber. It's reality that the vessel is down. Right. It's reality that, yes, your stock will be out. And it's reality that these constructions is at a pause. And so come and say something, construction. Come and say something, hardware, and just don't sit there and waiting for the chamber.
All right. Mr. Williams, I want to thank you so much for joining us here, and we look forward to hearing back from the chamber. Possibly, we might hear a release. We know the chamber doesn't hide behind any press releases, but we might get a release following the conversation with the Tobago House of Assembly and possibly the Ministry of Works to find out what is really happening. And of course, we here at Tobago Updates Television, we will be reaching out to the other associations, that's the Hotel Association, Supermarket Association, and also the Truckers and the farmers and get a feel of what is really happening, how dire the situation is, and hopefully, yeah, we'll be able to pass that information on to citizens, on to islanders, so that they would know what they will possibly be facing when they go to the markets, the supermarkets, etc. So thank you again, Mr. Williams, so much for joining us here this morning, and we wish the chamber all the best moving forward, sir.
Thank you, and we will be there anytime you want to speak to us. We are open and welcome to speak.
All right, so have a good day. Thank you so much. All right, viewers, so that was Mr. Curtis Williams, the chairman of the Tobago division of the Trinidad and Tobago Commerce, as we speak to the challenges being faced here with the inter-island ferry service. We have, well, when we look at it, it's possibly just the galleon's passage. We see the damage done to the MV Blue Wave Harmony during that sea trial. As he said, it's a huge gash. When you look at it, you see right through into the ship. So we're not sure. I'm no expert. I'm not sure how long something like that is going to take to repair. I don't know if it's just a patchwork. You weld a piece of metal onto it. We're not sure. But of course, as Tobagonians, we need to have the inter-island service back up and running because our very lives depend on it. Again, I can attest. Saturday, I was in the supermarket looking for burger bread and different things, and the shelves are dry. There are shelves that are dry. There you are not seeing variety as you would be able to see. It is, the shelves are depleting. And of course, the concerns of the farmers not being able to receive feed to feed their livestock, that is a very, very, very concerning as well. For a couple of years, Tobagonians were always faced with this challenge. I want to thank you so much for choosing Sunrise. Thank you so much for waking up early and joining me here as we continue that conversation. And as promised, we are going to reach out to those other associations and hear what they have to say on the challenges being faced with the inter-island ferry service being depleted. You know, when the show is finished here with me on Sunrise, the programming on Tobago Updates Television is not done, as we head on over to the morning show with the lovely Vanessa and of course the lovely and handsome and just enchanting and intriguing Akinlabi Hola. All right, I want to wish you a wonderful day as we head on over to the morning show, and then we have Chanel Felix with a good morning Tobago again. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Wishing you a pleasant day.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, buljoil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Tobago, the sun is rising, and so are the conversations that matter, from the economy to education, from healthcare to community voices. No spin, no fluff, just facts, truth, and clarity. Join me, Lavian, as we cover the issues that shape our lives, the stories we can't ignore. We bring them to the table and ask the questions you want answered.
the Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. It's who we are and the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. We're deepening our commitment to the region, continuing to invest in the networks, services, and digital solutions that move Caribbean businesses forward. Whether you are a mid-sized business or multinational player, we bring you resilient connectivity, personalized service, and tailored IT solutions, all powered by local teams that truly have your back. We're here to help you navigate challenges, grow, and achieve your goals with practical solutions, reliable networks, and a partnership rooted in trust and your long-term success. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the Tobago Updates morning show. Today is Monday, the 2nd of February, 2026. We are into the first work week of the second month of the year. I know we finished January strong. Let us start February strong as well. I'm joined in the studio by the lovely Renessa Ortiz. Good morning, Renessa.
Good morning, Akinlabi. Good morning to our viewers here on Tobago Updates. It's always a pleasure being here on studio with you, bringing to you all the conversations. And I know this morning we have quite the lineup for them.
Yes, we have some interesting conversations, but you know, over the weekend, certain things happened with the cargo vessel, and now there are some concerns within the business community, even within those who, you know, agriculture, those who are in trades and that kind of thing. They're raising concerns because the supplies are running low, and the whole problem was exacerbated by the TNT Spirit also going down as well on their voyage, trying to bring passengers up to the island. So we're in a bit of a sticky situation right now in the Tobago space. Let's hope that the authorities could solve the matter as soon as possible to bring some relief to those who are most affected.
Yeah, I know it's very unfortunate because we were looking forward to the new cargo vessel coming. I know they were doing their trial runs, and then to see this happening during the trial runs, it sets people back. Plans were made, especially in the business community. We know that in Tobago we rely heavily on the inter-island ferry, and when these things go down, it affects businesses, it affects the people on the island of Tobago. So then now it poses the question, what are some of the contingency plans we would be putting in place so this doesn't happen in the future?
Well, you know, that also raises the question once again about Tobago's dependency on Trinidad for almost everything. And I'll give you a simple example. I went to House Grocery to buy a case of water, and I couldn't get the 500 ml size because they said the boat down. So no 500 ml, they only had the smaller sizes. So, I mean, something as simple as water, you know, bottled water, we have to depend on Trinidad for. So it raises the issue about Tobago's extremely high level of dependency on Trinidad and lack of industry on the island. But that's a conversation that is really deep and intense, and it's very varied in its discussions. So I don't think we could get into that right now. No, but hopefully our producers, will bring on the necessary persons during the week so that we can have these types of conversations. Viewers, we have a very interesting lineup for you all this morning. Before we get into any of that conversations about our lineup, we head on over to our news in 90 seconds.
And here's what's making news in 90 seconds for Monday, February 2nd, 2026. A combination of mechanical failures and accidents has disrupted the inter-island sea bridge, putting Tobago's transport system under strain. The passenger ferry TNT Spirit was withdrawn from service after a mechanical breakdown on Sunday while en route from Port of Spain to Scarborough. The vessel arrived safely but delayed at 3:32 p.m. with all passengers and crew unharmed. Its removal from service along with the Buku Reef being on dry dock has significantly reduced passenger capacity. Meanwhile, the cargo vessel MV Blue Wave Harmony, meant to replace the Cabo Star, was damaged during its second sea trial on Thursday night after striking the bridge, an incident reportedly worsened by weather conditions. The damage, including a gash and hull warping, has kept the vessel docked in Scarborough despite recent class approval. With 2 vessels under repair and 1 in dry dock, authorities face mounting pressure to stabilize the sea bridge and protect supply chains. Up next, Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesa held a high-level meeting on Friday with Chief Secretary Fali Augustine at the Office of the Prime Minister to address national development priorities and issues specific to the island. The meeting included key government officials such as the Attorney General, Minister of Finance, and Minister of Land and Legal Affairs, highlighting the significance of the discussions. Talks centered on strengthening cooperation between the central government and the Tobago House of Assembly, improving targeted assistance, and better supporting the Chief Secretary in carrying out his responsibilities. And finally, the Division of Tourism, Antiquities and Creative Industries congratulated Tobago's outstanding students who have advanced to the final round of the TUCO First Citizens Malta National Junior Calypso Monarch 2026 competition, which will be held at the Queen's Park, Savannah. These include Kalia Ramsey, Bishop's High School, Coquise Davidson, Signal Hill Secondary School, and Nataki Thompson, Scarborough Secondary. These are other stories in our major newscast at 6:30 p.m. Be viewing Tobago Updates Television, and that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you very much, Vanessa, for that news in 90 seconds. And Vanessa, we see where the cooperation and that cordial relations between the THA and the central government is continuing, and they're looking to build upon it, having some very needed conversations so early on into the new term of the new THA administration, which signals to us that they're getting very serious about getting on and doing some work in Tobago.
Yes, because I know we mentioned this earlier in the year about, especially when the TPP won the polls on January 12th, we were looking forward to the collaboration between central government and the THA and having these meetings happening, and also what the outcome would be, especially when it comes to national security. I know Tobago is usually looked at as the calmer island of the two of the nation, and as much as we may not have as much crime as Trinidad, it's still important that we put those measures in place to prevent. Prevention is always better than the cure. And I know sometimes we can't prevent some of these crimes, but if it is we have certain mechanisms in place, we can help to alleviate some of the stresses and the burdens here in society.
Yes. We also see in the news that our Tobago students are shining bright, qualifying for the finals of the Junior Calypso Monarch. A number of Tobagonians, including I think it was Kalia, Alfred, Coquise Davidson.
Kalia Ramsey.
Sorry. Coquise Davidson and Nataki Thompson. You know, Nataki, I believe she was a former national champion a few years back. So it's good to see that she's still in it, still competing. I know Coquise and Kalia has been in Calypso for a while now as well. You could call them junior veterans, I guess.
No, it's just good that our young Tobagonians are spreading their wings and going out there and putting themselves out there. It's no easy feat going on stage to perform, and I think a lot of people don't understand that. Putting all that hard work in and then going to showcase that on the competition night, it's an art all in of itself. Yes,
it's getting on stage and performing is not an easy thing in front of a lot of persons. And I always tell persons, well, I am also in performing arts, you know, and I always tell persons that the performing arts is something where the level of accountability is very high. You can't have an off day. You have an off day, it's very obvious to everyone. So you must perform every single night. As I want to quote Marshall one time from his song this year. He says, "You're only as good as your last performance," and that's literally how it is in the performing arts. You're only as good as your last performance. You perform good Tuesday, you come Wednesday and you perform bad, nobody remember Tuesday. Everybody will remember Wednesday. And to do something like that over and over, year after year, it's really commendable on these young ladies.
And the diligence and hard work that goes into it.
Yes, indeed. All right, viewers, it's that time to celebrate with those who are to celebrate with those who are celebrating. It's time for our birthday shout-outs. Yes, it's time for us to celebrate. Whatever you're celebrating, we want to celebrate with you here at Tobago Updates. And we start the birthday shout-outs with saying happy birthday, happy birthday to Miss Katian Kromati Johnson. Happy birthday to you, Miss Katian Kromati Johnson. God's richest blessings. Today's a special day. You're February born. Yes, you have blessed persons with your presence. You've been such a blessing to so many. We know that you'll be loved and cherished today. You'll be shown a lot of love, and we pray that you take some time off to reflect and thank God for all that He has done in your life.
Up next, we extend belated birthday greetings to Councillor Akel Franklin. Happy belated to you. We know that you spent your day wonderfully. It was spent with those who you love and cherish, those persons who really appreciate you in your life, and we hope that this year going forward it's prosperous and bright for you.
We also want to say happy birthday, belated birthday that is, to Mr. Willie Turner, who celebrated his 100th birthday. Yes, he's a centurion. He celebrated his 100th birthday on the 31st of January. That was Saturday. Happy birthday to you, sir. You are a centurion. That is a blessing from God.
You understand?
It's very rare for somebody to reach those heights. And we thank God for your life, and we thank God for all that He has given to you over the last century. Happy birthday to you. And we hope you see many, many more. We hope you set a record. Yeah? Happy birthday to you, sir.
Next, we have Roxanne Cordner, and that's actually belated birthday greetings going out to you from the Tobago Updates family. We know you had a wonderful day. We know that this year is going to be filled with lots of goals to accomplish, lots of new things to try, and we want to wish you all God's richest blessings upon your life going forward in this new year.
And finally, we say happy birthday to Miss Erica George Lizama from her brother Oswald, sister-in-law Rhea, and the family with love. Happy birthday to you, Erica. God's richest blessings. We know the family gonna treat you real nice today. Gifts upon gifts. You're gonna have some nice champagne and nice fancy wine and cake. You know, treatment for a queen today. Happy birthday to you. God's richest blessings, and we hope you stay safe today. The producer also wants to tell you happy birthday as well. He said he's being left out, and we don't want to leave him out at all. Happy birthday to you from our producer as well, Miss Erica. So viewers, whatever you're celebrating, whether it's a birthday, an anniversary, a graduation, whatever you want to celebrate, send us information and we will celebrate. Tobago will celebrate, Trinidad will celebrate, the Caribbean will celebrate, the world will celebrate with you here on the Tobago Updates. All right, Vanessa, who do we have on the program today?
This morning we have Inspector Kathleen Sterling, and she's here to talk about alcohol consumption and safety during the carnival season. Right after, we have Martin George, attorney at law, and he's here to talk about the TNT Spirit breaks down en route. You know, that's something that's on a lot of the viewers' minds this morning. And last but certainly not least, we have Beverly Ramsey Moore, president of Pan Trinbago, and we're going to be speaking about Pan Wars from Tobago to Trinidad.
All right, we seem to have a bit of a focus on the Inter-Island Ferry Bridge. Viewers, we want to thank you for staying with us, whether it's on our Facebook Live or YouTube channel. 102 on AMPLIA, 121 or 130 on Flow, and 33 on Digicel. Whether you're in Tobago, Trinidad, the Caribbean, the wider world, wherever you are, we want to thank you for viewing and making Tobago Updates Tobago's #1 television station. But we ask you to do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these messages.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause them once again. They better look out below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look out below, 'cause this is your show.
Elderly can't have fun too. We're talking good food, proper music, lots of games, and a day at the beach they will never forget. From the time we left the compound at Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly, the vibe was already established. Wheels up and seatbelts on. Watch now, when we touched down in Pigeon Point, everybody was ready for excitement. But before anything could take place, we had to secure bellies. You ever play bingo by the beachside? Well, that was the first activity on the roster, and boy did these seniors have fun. However, others wanted something more physical, so we brought out the ring toss, and not even arthritis could have stopped them. Well, I was blown away at how straight these people were. Are you sure this is a home for the elderly? Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday, but nothing beats the song of Good Steel Pan by the shores while we take a dip in Tobago's finest water. Wait, more food again? This is my type of event. The energy was amazing and nothing short of a blessing. Pick up Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly, because joy doesn't retire, laughter doesn't age, and memories like these last forever.
To a stranger.
Courts is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Courts Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Courts Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. And we have in studio with us Inspector Kathleen Sterling of the TTPS. And she's here to give us our weekly TTPS crime updates and also speak to us about alcohol consumption and safety during the carnival season. Good morning and welcome, Inspector.
Hi, good morning and welcome. Thanks to be here this morning.
So, Inspector, we want to go straight into the crime updates. Tell us, what is the latest with crime in Tobago?
Okay, so we see Tobago experiencing a reduction in crime, and that's a good thing. So we look at our serious crimes compared to the comparison period last year. We think we have 2 murders last year. This year we have 1 murder, which was solved. We talk about our serious crimes, our tower crimes. We look at break-ins, robberies, and we see we have a huge reduction of 46 less crime. Overnight, we had a report of robbery in the patient cell area, so that doesn't mean that we are crime-free. However, we're going into the carnival season and we expect an uptick in robberies and break-ins because we have persons looking for the extra cash for carnivals. So we asking persons, to be aware of their surroundings, business owners to be aware, not hold large cash in your business places. We do bank transaction throughout the day so that we'll eliminate these robberies. So Tobago, we're in a good place. The police is working to ensure that, we keep our citizens safe. So we are asking persons to work with us and be aware. If you see something, say something.
Now, Inspector, I want to thank you so much for sharing the crime updates with us. Now, I know in one of our past interviews with the TTPS, they started speaking about Operation Festive Shield. Can you go a bit into that for the viewers?
Okay, so the TTPS have an official enhanced safety program called the Festive Shield. We had a similar program like that for the Christmas season, where we work with our partnership. We partner with the community and stakeholders to ensure that we have a safe carnival period. Now, with this Festive Shield, we'll be having different activities throughout the island. So we'll be looking at pre-carnival events, look at interdepartment where we'll, alcohol is a part of our culture and it is embedded in the whole carnival season. So we want to be proactive carnival season. For example, after the interdepartment, we'll be having breathalyzer out there so that persons would do breathalyzer tests and they would know if they would be able to operate a machinery, which will be a car out there. So we could eliminate fatal collision and, and have a safe carnival. So our Festive Shield starts today. We want to adapt where we go into the bar owners and, we informing them because, we're into the carnival season and we have what we call ban of glass bottles. So, we want to inform, educate the public and the bar owners as how they should operate for the carnival season. So it's an official enhanced safety program, both Trinidad and Tobago, and it will be seen as operating out there throughout the carnival period.
Now, you mentioned a couple of initiatives that you'll be taking to help persons be more responsible in terms of the breathalyzer after the interdepartment competition, I guess, and other events as well. But what can persons do for themselves to keep themselves safe during the period?
Okay, so me being here this morning is one of our initiatives with the enhanced safety. So we're talking alcohol and excessive use of alcohol. So, it's a carnival period, so we're asking persons, we alcohol overdose. And in alcohol overdose, we could say alcohol poisoning. And there are ways that we could, symptoms that we could identify as alcohol poisoning. So we look at, you're out, you're having fun, you're drinking alcohol. We look at vomiting, right? Persons start vomiting when they intake too much alcohol. We're looking at seizure. You could get a seizure, right? Confusion, you don't know yourself, you're all over the place, and several other symptoms that you could identify as alcohol poisoning. So what we're saying, when you see these symptoms happening, it could lead to a medical emergency. So you should seek medical attention. And it's not just about you alone, because you'll be out there with friends and maybe even stranger, because you may be passing and see someone under the influence that they don't even know themselves, they unconscious so you could assist that person by seeking medical attention for that person.
Now, I know you mentioned some of the symptoms, and a lot of times people think, oh, I probably just need to sleep it off a bit. Can you really explain to them how the alcohol poisoning happens? Because a lot of persons don't really, as you mentioned, look at it as a medical emergency. They would think, oh, I just need to sleep it off.
Well, I'm not a medical profession, but what I could see, if you're a person and you don't normally vomit that much when you intake alcohol, something should say, well, something is not right. This is not what normally happens. Now, you might not be conscious enough to know that, but you as someone who observing, you take nothing for chances. You call, because for the carnival season we always have the ambulance EHS services around, so it takes nothing for you to alert these personnel to treat with that person, and they would do the diagnosis if the person needs to go to the hospital or if they can treat the person there. So we just have to be aware, and things that we're not accustomed seeing, that we treat with them. After carnival, someone will have go to the beach, because we're going and cool off. But then you in such a state that it causes drowning. So, and that would cause the medical personnel to have an increase in work. And persons who are genuinely need the help because of the amount of personnel emergencies that they have, it could cause you not to be medically examined or get proper medical attention. So, we're just asking persons to limit their intake of alcohol. Some of us, we go to a party, we don't eat, we haven't gotten anything to see. So eat before you drink and eat whilst drinking. You, as a friend, could, hey, you have enough alcohol consumption. We need to stop, because this is serious. It could lead to death. And some of us is not aware that this could happen, because I know for the carnival season already, we heard of persons in parties getting heart attack, overdosing, drinking. So it's a serious concern for the TTPS, and also we have to think about our loved ones. So we have to be responsible out there for the carnival period in terms of alcohol consumption.
Not just in terms of persons taking responsibility for their consumption, but also, unfortunately, we have in our society people who, they're predators on others, Tell us how persons could be safe with their drinks in their hands and cups or whatever, taking drinks from other persons. Just speak to the steps person could take to be as safe as possible in those circumstances.
Well, for carnival and in alcohol consumption, I would tell persons, don't accept drinks from strangers, because there's a time that's the time people prey on, especially the females. So, I mean, your friend, your acquaintances, you accept, but strangers, you don't accept alcohol from strangers, because we look at one of the effects of alcohol consumption. It could be mixed with drugs to put you in a space that you don't know yourself. So you must not be ultimately greedy for alcohol. You have to be aware, because safety is priority. So you need to know who you're drinking from. Don't accept drinking from strangers. And in terms of, we we look at fatal collision on the roadway. You're not supposed to be driving under the influence. I don't know if persons know the increase in fines. For your first offense, driving under influence is $24,000, right? The second offense is $45,000. So when you look at the fines, it's not worth it being out there. And it's not even about the fine, it's thinking about loss of life. We know around the carnival season we have a lot of serious RTAs, and it is contributed to alcohol, intake of alcohol. But the police will be out there doing breathalyzer, and we don't want persons to be caught wanting out there under the influence of alcohol. So we are asking persons to be responsible and be safe out there. Persons, we want to get home to our loved ones, and persons will be on the road. I'm not taking alcohol, but you decide to be irresponsible and drink, and then persons lost their lives. So we're asking persons to be really responsible, and the police will be out there to ensure that persons are safe on the roadway.
I know you spoke about us looking out for one another during the carnival season. If you see someone lying on the road, try to assist them as much as possible. But I know during this time as well, there are an increase in road accidents, road collisions, which is unfortunate, and we try to prevent them as much as possible. Usually they happen, and there are patrons around who usually rush these accident sites. And I know some persons aren't medically equipped to deal with these situations, but I know usually they are sometimes the first responders. Can you give any tips or advice to persons who want to help during that time? I know a call is usually the first thing, but sometimes in some of these situations they may try to open a door and pull someone out from the vehicle to help alleviate some of the stress that they look like they may be facing during that accident. Any tips or advice for the public in those situations?
So I'm saying a fatal or a serious RT, and there are persons who will congregate because some inquisitive, some wants to help. But in that moment, the first thing is find out if there is a medical person around who could assist. First thing you need to do is call the ambulance services or the police officers so that we could treat with it. You taking someone out of a vehicle can cause more harm than good. So as much as we may try to help, I mean, there are situations that we know we could help, but if someone is trapped in a vehicle, fire services are the one who to take that person out of the vehicle, because you could cause more harm than good. So I'm saying communication is the first thing. Communicate with the relevant services to do their job. And if there are persons there who are trained for that particular job, we source that person to assist. But I'm saying persons should not just take persons out of vehicles and try to transport, because we could do more harm than good.
Okay, Inspector, you have any closing statements you'd like to make as we wrap up the interview?
So what we're asking is for safety over the carnival period, and just to inform you guys that we have the festive season all week, and you will be seeing us out there, and we're asking for safety and to work with the police service so that we could have a safe carnival period.
Okay, thank you very much, Inspector Kathleen Sterling of the TTPS, talking to us about Operation Festive Shield. Now, viewers, we have to go for a short break, and when we come back, we continue our conversations. So do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live.
Tobago. It's Carnival. The Vibe. The event space, formerly known as Shade. For the Court Tobago. Says, let's celebrate Carnival. Bring your coolers every Friday and Saturday. Starting from Friday the 30th of January till Carnival week. And pay $50 at the door with your cooler all night. No ice, no chaser. Allowed. Top DJ and artists passing through. Every Friday and Saturday. To pre-book your cabanas, call 369-6414 and 394-3612. volunteer or email iwang@gmail.com. And this promotion is going on until Easter. Gates open at 9 p.m. It's rum, it's bacchanal. Bring your coolers and come.
Been down this road before. All that left is rum and bacchanal. This is carnival.
As you come in. Long time I see you. This station pumping. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Steven to see about them. Yes, total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about them. You just leave Jada to see about Kia and Kayla? I thought it's your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before you ramage, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and the service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back to Tobago Updates Morning Show. You are here live with us here on the Port Mall, and this morning we're continuing our conversations. Now we have virtually joining us, we have Martin George, and he's here to talk to us about the TNT Spirit being disrupted en route to Scarborough from Port of Spain. Good morning and welcome to you, Mr. George.
Yes, hi, good morning to you and good morning to all your viewers and your followers and your listeners, and good morning, Tobago.
Now, I want you to set the stage for us. The TNT Spirit broke down midway through its journey here to Scarborough. Can you tell us what that implicates for us here as Tobagonians and explain to the public why this matters?
Well, the thing is, the simplest way to understand the importance of not just the sea bridge, but also the air bridge to Tobagonians and for people who are living, working, even holidaying in Tobago. It's as simple as I tell people, if it is that you are living in South Trinidad, you're living in San Fernando, Marabella, Vista Bella, and you have no highway access. They cut off the highway. They block the highway totally. So you cannot come up to Port of Spain. You from Port of Spain cannot go down to San Fernando. It's only if something like that occurs in Trinidad would people fully understand the importance of this connectivity. We are one nation. It's not to say it's two separate nations, it's one nation. So therefore that connection, that connectivity is of such paramount importance. And as I say, it's even more important, I think, for Tobagonians, because the point is, while you may have persons coming over to Tobago for leisure, for pleasure, for a holiday and vacation, whatever, there are many times when Tobagonians have to go down to Trinidad for medical emergencies, for even maybe just routine medical appointments, for exams, for education, for, just sometimes some of the basic services. You have to go to Trinidad. So therefore that connectivity on the air bridge, the sea bridge, is a lifeline. It is a basic fundamental right. It is not a favor. It is not a request. It is a right. So therefore, we've said, from the business perspective of the Tobago Chamber, we've said that, look, you need to have like double redundancies on these routes. So in other words, each boat should have a backup and a backup, because the point is things do happen. Mechanical failures could occur. I saw they mentioned rough seas. Well, I mean, of course, the point is, you would expect that these boats are able to navigate rough seas because, I mean, they are operating in the ocean. So, I'm not sure that is a sufficient explanation to, justify this hours-long delay and the inconvenience to, the passengers. Then you ask yourself also, what is our scenario? Okay, say for instance, if the boat was really stranded midway between Trinidad and Tobago and could not move at all, what is it that we have no backup plan to say, well, okay, can we get a rescue vessel out there to get the passengers off and get them safely to their destination? Even if you say, well, okay, vehicles will have to wait, but I mean, at least to get the passengers off. I don't know where we are in terms of our forward thinking and our planning, but we behave as if this is rocket science. We are in the year 2026. All other nations are able to get these simple things organized and functioning efficiently and effectively. Why is it in Trinidad and Tobago we still behave as if, well, this is the most monumentous problem to solve, and we could never seem to get it right? This is the carnival season. It's Panorama weekend. There are going to be thousands of people going down to Trinidad to support the Panorama, to play with their bands and stuff like that. So you must know that even the airport was a mess. So you ask yourself, I don't know in terms of our logistic planning, our in terms of how we plan for movement of people, but clearly it's not fixed yet, and we need to take some urgent steps to get it right.
Mr. George, you mentioned the creating redundancies, but we're seeing here that the TNT Spirit was in fact a sort of redundancy that sort of failed and exacerbating the problem on the island in terms of getting goods and supplies to Tobago. Speak to us about the recurring issue of Tobago being overly dependent on Trinidad for its supplies, and how that it highlights the lack of a manufacturing sector, whether even if it's like manufacturing, a manufacturing sector on the island.
Well, I mean, the thing is, if you think back to, I guess maybe stories you would have heard from your parents, your grandparents about years and years ago when, like for instance, in the 1960s, even maybe the 1970s, Tobago actually used to be producing, and I mean, even like, in the early 60s, Tobago was a very productive island in terms of food supply. People would plant, they would, have their produce. They were basically, largely self-sufficient in terms of, a lot of the provisions, the supplies that we now import all the time. I was told that even something as basic as coconut water, we import that, we bring that in from either Guyana or Trinidad or other places. I mean, and that is unbelievable. So what we can't even plant coconuts in Tobago. You ask yourself, where are we going in terms of that kind of outlook if we are not able to sustain ourselves? And you ask the question also. I mean, when you hear people making the calls for autonomy and I keep saying, hey, let's fix these basic fundamentals first, because unless you fix those things, you are always going to be dependent on somebody else. So therefore, you will just have autonomy in name, but then you have to go to St. Vincent to get your gong provisions, make sure you import them, your banana, your plantain, your dasheen, how much of that is being produced in Tobago? I recall when the directors from Sandals were in Tobago, and they were looking at putting up their hotels, and they were just getting some basic fundamental information, and they sought to get from the then THA some figures in terms of, okay, if we are to set up these hotels, how many pounds of mutton can you guys supply us? How many pounds of lamb? How many pounds of beef? And the folks at the THA could not answer, because the point is, the reality is that we really don't produce these things in any large commercial quantities to be able to say, well, okay, look, we have the figures. We could say, well, look, you could get 4,000 pounds of beef every week, because they wanted to work with the local farmers, the local producers and stuff like that. But we were just, it was embarrassing. And I saw, the lack of ability to respond. In fact, I think the relevant secretary in the THA at that time said, okay, we will have to form a committee to come back to you with those answers. And I knew that was just a stalling tactic, because really and truly they don't have the answers. So your question is so much on point, and this exposes the frailty and fragility of what we refer to as the Tobago economy. Because if it is that we are not self-sustaining, if it is we are not generating enough income of our own, then you ask yourself, where are we really going in the year 2026, when we in Tobago want better, we would like to see better, but it's just not happening.
Now, do you think that consumers, passengers, should be entitled to consumer protection and compensation when state-run transportation systems fail?
Well, the point is, yes, the compensation issue is there, but I think what passengers would prefer? They just prefer to have a good, efficient system working that they could rely on. They pay their money, they get what they pay for, and they go their way. The whole idea is not that you want to be stranded at sea for 4 hours, then to get back your $75 as a passenger, and then the port authority takes months and months and months and is constant back and forth and running around just to give you that. So, I don't think people are so focused on the idea of a refund as much as they are focused on, hey, let's just get a proper working system. And, part of this is tied up with the politics of the day, because we have seen repeatedly when different administrations, regimes, or governments come into power, you may have a system that is working, and they suspend that, or they cancel that, or they don't renew it, because that is not their system. They want their own contract, they want their own boat on the route, and it's only the public that suffers in that case. We've heard about Blue Wave coming, and the point is they had some problems with their trials, some damage to the hull, but the point is, you ask yourself, okay, the Cabo Star contract was coming to an end. You knew that. So it's either you renew it, or you had a replacement vessel already doing sea trials, already, waiting in the wings just to immediately slip into replace the Cabo Star the very next day. No, you have the end of the Cabo Star contract, and then you now bring down Blue Wave. You're now doing sea trials. You get damaged during sea trials. I don't know when it's going to be actually functional on the route. And again, you have the problem with goods and supplies not being able to reach to Tobago because of these, incompetencies in planning and logistics.
Now, I want to talk to you a bit about tourism, because you are part of the business chamber. and the business community in Tobago. Coming up this weekend, coming up on the 8th of February, they're supposed to have the Panorama Medium Band Finals in Tobago, where a number of bands will be coming up from Trinidad to participate. And we know that hotels come up buzzing, food places come up buzzing, everything is buzzing. How would this now impact the ability of Tobago to host these hundreds, even thousands of people that will be coming up to the island this weekend?
Well, I mean, we would hope again that, I mean, the authorities are aware of the schedule. They are aware that, you know, all of this movement is going to be taking place, because when you're talking about moving a pan side, it is a huge logistical, you know, exercise. You know, you're talking the truck, the trailer, the pan racks, you know, you're talking, sometimes you have a tractor pulling them, you know. So the point is, you definitely need a boat that can have that capacity and also to be able to take the passengers. Then some people may not go by the boat to come up, they may fly up. So therefore you have to ensure that you have sufficient flights on, because you know of these events in advance. So it's not rocket science. It's not to say that, you know, you were caught by surprise or you were caught napping. So the same way we, the members of the public, know the event is on, the folks at Caribbean Airlines must know it's on. The folks at the Port Authority and the Inter-Island Transport Service, they must know it's on. So therefore they are supposed to be able to say, hey, listen, yes, we're ready. We have everything in place. We have a boat ready, we have a standby, we have, you know, everything in place for that. Then you also ensure, even on the roads, you know, in terms of the traffic, because you'll have increased traffic, you'll have, you know, increased movement of people. You're supposed to be able to plan these things smoothly, efficiently, and effectively, without it being like, you know, you're looking like you're caught napping and you're caught unawares, and, you know, you're in a surprise each time this type of thing happens.
All right, and one last question. You mentioned that earlier in the interview, you mentioned that we don't have much economic activity in terms of the manufacturing and that kind of thing. We spoke about it. I mean, your idea and your estimation, what are the first steps we can take in Tobago to really revitalize more self-sufficiency in terms of our food and manufacturing on the island?
Well, the thing is, you see, okay, we have to look at it from two perspectives. Number one, okay, yes, we have to look in terms of, you know, what can we look to in terms of our food security and, you know, our manufacturing. For the food security, that has to be, and I've always said, any major agricultural thrust has to be government or THA led. In other words, you have to have that initiative coming from the top. You cannot say, well, look, okay, you plant a little backyard garden and, you know, you produce what? 2 hands are planting and somebody else produce 3 hands are planting, and you say we have a planting industry in Tobago. No, it doesn't work so anymore. You have to have large scale input from the top. And if you don't have that, then you will never have any sufficient degree of, you know, food adequacy on the island. All right. As regards manufacturing, we have to look in terms of niche markets, okay? Because the point is, you're not going to be able to say, well, okay, you're going to set up a pigeon peas processing plant in Tobago if, first of all, you don't even have the feedstock of sufficient pigeon peas to be able to can, to be able to, you know, justify the cost of setting up a plant. So therefore, we have to be clever. We have to start thinking proactively. But there are other things that we can get into. Okay, say for instance, why don't we expand our horizons, open our minds, and say, well, look, we start marketing and advertising Tobago as a haven for digital nomads. There are so many persons who are able to work remotely. And, you know, coming out of the pandemic, we all learned that lesson that, hey, listen, you don't have to be tied to an office. Many jobs could be done remotely. Why don't we start advertising and promoting Tobago as the island in the Caribbean for digital nomads? You say, listen, we have super high-speed internet available anywhere you go in the island. So you boost that. That's it, because that's the first thing that you need as digital nomads. So therefore you say, look, even if you're in the rainforest, doing a nature trail, you have high-speed connectivity there. You're on Pigeon Point Beach, you have you're on Mount Turbine Beach. So in other words, you start advertising it that when you say, hey, listen, you can come. You could live and work in paradise, still be in contact with your offices in New York, Hong Kong, Bangkok, wherever, and get your work done, earn your money, but you're living in paradise because next to your laptop, you have a rum punch you're sipping on, and you're relaxing on the beach, and you're still getting your work done because we have put the systems and the fundamentals in place. We have to start thinking outside the box. We have to start thinking forward, and looking at the world as a global village. And let's see where we can find our place and our space for Tobago in that mix.
Now, Mr. George, I want to thank you so much for coming on this morning and sharing your insight on the TNT Spirit issue as well as some of the issues plaguing Tobago when it comes to inter-island ferry disruption.
It's always a pleasure and a wonderful morning to you all. Thank you.
All right, viewers, before we go for a break, we want to give you that daily traffic report. Yes, we want you all to keep abreast of what is happening on the island's roads. And we are at Rockleyville traffic lights. Yes, we are at Rockleyville traffic lights. And you can see the traffic is moving from east into the western end of the island. It's starting to pick up. The traffic is actually starting to pick up. It's 7:54 a.m. As you get closer to 8 o'clock, between that 8 and 9 o'clock hour, things get a bit dicey on the road. So we encourage you all to get out there. You still have some time to make it while the traffic is reasonable. So we hope that you're actually closing that door of your house and entering your vehicle to get moving today. All right, viewers, so we have to go for a short break. And when we come back, we continue our conversations. Do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these messages.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and the service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships. It's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Tobago, it's Carnival. The Vibe, the event space formerly known as Shade, for them called Tobago, said, let's celebrate Carnival. Bring your coolers every Friday and Saturday, starting from Friday the 30th of January till Carnival week, and pay $50 at the door with your cooler all night. No ice, no chaser allowed. Top DJ and artists passing through every Friday and Saturday. To pre-book your cabanas, call 369-6414 and 394-3612 or email iwamg@gmail.com. And this promotion is going on until Easter. Gates open at 9 p.m. It's rum, it's bacchanal. Bring your coolers and come.
Been down this road before. All that left is rum and bacchanal. This is carnival.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back, viewers, to the Tobago Updates morning show. And we have on the line with us President of Pan-Tobago, Mrs. Beverly Ramsey Moore. She's here to talk to us about the Pan Wars, Pan Wars from Tobago to Trinidad, the inter-island ferry affecting even the panorama competitions. Good morning and welcome, Mr. Ramsey Moore.
Good morning, and thanks for having me on this morning.
So we understand that the Tobago bands had some challenges getting down to Trinidad for this weekend's Savannah Party, the semi-finals of this medium and large band competition.
Yes, they did have challenges, especially the large bands, because the results came out on last Thursday, and that same Thursday night, the bands that qualified for the semi-finals had to mobilize and get their acts ready to travel down to Trinidad. And the players traveled, I think it was Saturday morning. But the unfortunate situation is that because of the accident with the boat, that meant that all the racks had to come off the Blue Wave. The trucks were on, the racks came down, but the trucks were still on the boat even when it went back out to sea. And the drivers that came down with the keys in their pockets and all of that had to go back up by a plane the same night to get the truck off and then for the trucks to come down. I mean, the bands were not able to rehearse until Saturday night, which meant, and I'm saying Saturday night after 10. So in terms of the judges' comments for improvement of the song and all of that, the bands were not able to address the judges' comments, but then to go on stage with the same tune to qualify for the finals. So I know that, of course, the bands complained. The bands had a meeting in Tobago with the region. The region sent a letter to me with respect to the challenging situation that the bands would be performing on yesterday. And so all of that, even though the results are out, but will have to treat it as an emergency meeting of the executive to see what kind of consideration they can give to the bands, the challenges that they face. But it definitely was not easy.
Now, I know we had some concerns with the bands getting down to Tobago, but we have an even larger concern with the bands coming up to Tobago for the medium band finals on Sunday, the 8th of February. What is Trinbago? Is Trinbago having conversations with the authorities in terms of putting things in place to make that as smooth a transition as possible?
Listen, from where I came in about 4 o'clock this morning from the Savannah, and medium band finals is there's a question mark over the medium band finals for this weekend, because we have the 2 Tobago bands qualifying and the 8 bands to come to Tobago, and those bands are not bands that will push racks onto a boat. Those bands will all be on trailers, about 32 trailers to bring up those bands. And from where I am sitting, or I should say I'm still in my bed, so I should say that it is a question mark. We will have conversations with the port today. We'll reach out to see, because we have to know today. So by 4 o'clock this evening, I will be able to make a statement on medium band finals in Tobago this weekend. Definitely.
Ms. Mamzimo,
definitely. Thinking about it, we always think about sharing up, the national pie for Carnival for every region to benefit. And that medium band finals in Tobago is definitely a big one for the economy of Tobago. I see a lot of persons that will be very disappointed. All those hotels, those service providers, transportation, that definitely drives the economy of Tobago over the weekend. And a lot of persons have already purchased tickets and all of that to come to Tobago for that finals. And as a Tobagonian myself, I really, really enjoy the medium band finals. It's a different kind of energy in the space. Tobagonians look forward to the line And from where I am right now, I must say that there is a question mark. So we have to get some kind of assurance of the port today. But definitely, you know that the Spirit is having some problems. So, and the trailers, unless the Blue Wave is back on, then we will not be able to do big and band finals in today.
Mr. Ramzumo, I want to thank you so much for coming on this morning. We wish we could have had more time with you to discuss a bit more. But we hope that throughout the day you get the response that you need.
Hello?
Hello? You hearing me? Are you hearing me?
Ramzumo, hearing us? Okay, viewers, unfortunately, we seem to have lost Mrs. Ramsey Moore there, but she's stating that it might be a possibility that the medium band finals may have to be moved back within that if the port cannot sort out the issues with the vessels on the inter-island transportation bridge, on the island, ferry bridge, sorry. Viewers, unfortunately, we have come to the end of our programming here at Tobago Bliss. But before we go, we want to make a couple of announcements. We have a schedule for a revised schedule for the inter-island ferry. Vanessa?
The Port Authority, in coordination with NIDCO, have made arrangements to prioritize affected passengers who were scheduled to travel on the 3 p.m. sailing of the TNT Spirit. They will now be accommodated on the APT James, scheduled to depart the Port of Scarborough at 8 p.m. this evening. Passenger welfare arrangements and customer service agents are in place at the Port of Scarborough Terminal. Sailing schedule for tomorrow, Monday, February 2nd, 2026, will be adjusted to support continued service delivery. A revised sailing schedule is provided, and passengers with concerns or questions can contact staff at either ferry terminal in Port of Spain or Scarborough.
Right, and just one more announcement. On a lighter note, we want to congratulate all the Tobago Calypsonians that qualified for Calypso Fiesta this Saturday, Vanessa, at Skinner Park. Yes, we want to say congratulations to Dilly Swade, Mr. Dylan Thomas, Giselle Fraser, Gillis Orr, Nicole Thomas Clark, Rosalind Reed Hayes, Wendy Garrick, and also the one alternate is also from Tobago. And we want to congratulate all of them. That will be Miss Mutru, America Mutru. She also qualified. Well, she hasn't qualified, but she's the alternate. In case anyone can't make it to the semifinals, she will take their place. We want to congratulate all those who qualified. We're wishing you the best of luck on Saturday, and Tobago is fully supporting you. The whole of Tobago will be fully supporting you. We'll be locked on those who can't make the trip down to San Fernando. Those will be logged on the television, whether it's on Facebook or it's on cable networks. We will be locked on supporting you all. Yes, viewers, unfortunately, we've come to the end of our programming, but Tobago Updates programming does not end there. We continue on to GMT, Good Morning Tobago. So we ask you to do us that favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. GMT is up next.
According to Chief Secretary, the Honorable Farley Augustine, the portfolios of secretaries and assistant secretaries were formally assigned based on their experience, expertise, and the operational requirements of the divisions across the THA. In the process, several divisions were renamed and new ones were created to better reflect evolving responsibilities and administrative priorities.
The assignment of secretaries to divisions is not just a ceremonial exercise. It is a strategic act of stewardship. It is about placing the right people in the right spaces at the right time to deliver real results to real people on time.
The Honorable Farley Chavez Augustine assumed responsibility as a Chief Secretary after a vote in the House on January 15th. The office of the Chief Secretary was further strengthened with Assemblymember Megan Morrison appointed Secretary and Assemblymember Nigel Tate as Assistant Secretary. Deputy Chief Secretary Dr. Faith Brebner as Secretary for Health and Wellness. Assembly member Nathisha Charles Pantin was assigned Public Infrastructure and Transportation, while Assembly member Wayne Clark took responsibility for food security, including CPEP. Assembly member Keegan Denoon was appointed Secretary for Youth Empowerment and Sport, and Assembly member Zorisha Hackett assumed the leadership of Tourism, Antiquities and Creative Industries, supported by Assistant Secretary, Assembly member Nikita Percy. Environmental sustainability and climate resilience were placed under the stewardship of Assembly member Darren Henry, while Assembly member Trevor James as Secretary for Strategic Planning and Development. Housing, settlements, and public utilities were assigned to Assembly member Ricky Joe Field, and Legal Affairs to Councillor Adana Joseph Wallace. Assembly member Orlando Kerr was appointed Secretary for Education, Skills, and Innovation. Assembly member Ian Pollard as Secretary for Community Development and Social Protection, supported by Assistant Secretary Councillor Akel Franklin. Councillor Petilan Roberts returns as Secretary for Finance, Trade and the Economy, assisted by Assembly member Kern Alexis.
Being from the western side of Tobago, Crown Point to be exact, I think it's someplace fitting for me to be, and it's a great privilege to go into tourism to function. I already have the basic knowledge about what the island need, what the island desire in that area. So being in this field, kind of excited to get the job done.
I serve at the request of the Chief Secretary, so whatever position that he would have placed me in, I was willing to serve. So there was no anticipation, but I'm happy to see that I would have left yes to now manage yes. The first thing I have to do is to meet with all the heads of department to see the challenges that they have. And from there we would work to implementing the plans and programs that we have. The policies will be guided by the strategic approach that we have as a party. And so when I get in there, we would know what are the priority areas currently.
It falls directly in line with what my life work has been, so I didn't see it as much as a surprise. I have a lot of vision in order to transform the division of settlements. You see, the responsibility of government is to reach to the people and assist the people. And I think with my expertise, I will do very well there.
I considered that the chief might put me in education because of my background, but I was not sure. I think one of the main things is to continue the work that has started, because Secretary Hackett would have started a lot of new policies within the division, and I certainly intend to continue those policies. But as the Chief Secretary said, we have always fallen short with special education. We have always fallen short with even our level of delivery within our district. So that these are some of the things that we need to hit the ground running. The Tobago-centric curriculum and all of those things must be a reality within the next 4 years.
With portfolios assigned and responsibilities clearly defined, the Assembly members are now positioned to carry out their various tasks.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Tobago, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island to the world.
A brand new dawn, and as the passion start to rise.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix, and you know whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting topics and conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. A combination of mechanical failures and accidents has disrupted the inter-island sea bridge, putting Tobago's transportation system under strain. The passenger ferry TNT Spirit was withdrawn from service after a mechanical breakdown on Sunday while en route from Port of Spain to Scarborough. The vessel arrived safely but delayed at 3:32 p.m., with all passengers and crew unharmed. Its removal from service along with the Buku Reef being on dry dock has significantly reduced passenger capacity. Meanwhile, the cargo vessel MV Blue Wave Harmony, meant to replace the Cabo Star, was damaged during its second sea trial on Thursday night after striking the bridge, an incident reportedly worsened by weather conditions. The damage, including a gash and hull wrapping, has kept the vessel docked in Scarborough despite recent class approval. With two vessels under repair and one on dry dock, authorities face mounting pressures to stabilize the sea bridge and protect supply chain. Additionally, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar held a high-level meeting on Friday with Chief Secretary Fali Augustine at the Office of the Prime Minister to address national development priorities and issues specific to the island. The meeting included key government officials such as the Attorney General, Minister of Finance, and Minister of Land and Legal Affairs, highlighting the significance of the discussion. Talks centered on strengthening cooperation between the central government and the Tobago House of Assembly, improving targeted assistance, and bettering support for the Chief Secretary in carrying out his responsibilities. And finally, the Division of Tourism, Antiquities and Creative Industries congratulates Tobago's outstanding students who have advanced to the final round of the TUCO First Citizens Smalta National Junior Calypso Monarch 2026 competition, which will be held at the Queen's Park, Savannah. These include Kalia Ramsey of Bishop's High School, Conise Davidson of Signan Hill Secondary High School, and Nataki Thompson of Scarborough Secondary. And that was our news in 90 seconds. This morning we jump straight ahead into our conversation, and to have our conversation this morning, I'm chatting with a man that is no stranger to us here on Tobago Updates, Mr. Barry Lovelace, and he is the Natural Resource Manager at the Division of Environment, Climate Resilience and Energy. This morning we're talking a bit about World Wetlands Day. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Chanel.
Right.
Good morning to viewers everywhere.
Right. Usually when we are talking about the wetlands, persons think that these discussions are, specific to the environmentally conscious. But tell us a bit about why the everyday Tobagonian or person should be concerned about what happens within the wetlands, specifically on this island, and how it affects them.
Okay. Well, wetlands are tremendously important for us, right? Now, today, being February 2nd, is World Wetlands Day, recognized globally, right? This is in keeping with the convention that was established in 1971, right, on February 2nd, and therefore, every year after, it's recognized. Now, wetlands, the definition for wetlands is a broad one. Well, the Ramsar, they have a broad definition. Any body of water that is over the land, it could be temporarily or seasonally, it could be artificial, and it could even include marine water, right? That is at low tide, less than 6 meters. All that is considered a wetland. So, given that definition, the Buku Reef is a wetland, right? Beaches, wetlands, seagrass beds, right? Normally, when we say wetlands loosely, we are thinking mostly about the mangrove or the marshes and so on, but it's a broader definition. And this year, the overarching theme is wetlands and traditional knowledge, right? Respecting the cultural heritage of wetlands around the world. And it's no different here in Tobago, right? Because historically, traditionally, or for parents, they had a very interwoven relationship with wetlands culturally, right? It was used for firewood. It was used to build houses. I'm talking now about the mangrove type wetlands. You also have a lot of, in terms of food security, right? We are known in Tobago for crabs, right? That's where the crab, that's the habitat for crabs, lobsters, shrimps, right? Oysters, fish. And those words that roll off my tongue, they're actually part of a song, right? That you heard it already, right? In fact, I'll probably say the song, I'll not sing it, because it really summarizes wetlands, right? How it go? Let me gather my thoughts here. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know we have plenty wetlands in Tobago? We have about 18 of them in all, 19 if we didn't construct Scarborough Mall. Now we're trying our best to protect the rest, and with your help we will pass the test. We have black, white, red, mangrove. We have crabs, clams, conchs. We have lobsters, shrimps, oysters, fish. Wetlands work for us. In the south, we have Kilwin, Friendship, Pitichu, still counting, Corland, Blackrock, and Bukomash, where migrating birds does rest when they pass. Going up now, along the northeast coast, there are several more of which we can boast. Lucivale, Kings River, Studley Park, and for lovers, Carapace Bay after dark. They say the wetland is a dirty place. It has mosquitoes, sewage, and solid waste. But I'm telling you, Chanel, as a fact, the wetlands are much more precious than that. They provide us with food, money, and shelter. Nursery for fish makes the sea cleaner. Now we want everyone to know, protect wetlands in Tobago.
Wow, I think all our primary schools should be singing this one, right? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that
just the way how
it.
just how we learn the days of the weeks and the months of the year as a Tobagonian. I feel like the kids, especially at the primary school level, that should definitely be added to assembly in the morning time. I love
that's
that
an idea.
I like that one. I like that one. Let's talk about it afterwards.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that we here in Tobago see the need to protect our wetlands, and not just protect, but celebrate. And a part of that celebration has led to the secondary school mural competition. Tell us a bit about that.
Right, and that's the main information we're trying to get out this morning. The division, and by the way, it's a new division, the Division of Environment, Climate Resilience, and Energy, newly birthed division. Right? And forestry is under that, marine parks is under that division, and so on. Exciting times. However, the Department of Forestry, we have planned for this wetlands event or commemoration to do a secondary school mural competition. Right? The theme of the competition is culture meets conservation. Are we own? Right? To encapsulate that cultural aspect. Now, the competition begins today, officially. Right? Schools, well, most of them anyway, would have gotten the information already, whether by email or hand-delivered packages and so, with the guidelines, the rules, and so for the mural. And from today on to the end of the month, the 30th, right? They are now able to come up with their concepts and a sort of prototype of this mural, right? So they submit it on the 30th. Between the 30th and the 9th of April, the judging will take place. And then, after, well, we're looking for 3 winners, first, second, and third. Right?
And I see we have some big money prizes here.
Yeah, good prizes. First prize, $5,000, $4,000 second, $3,000 third. And not only that, the schools themselves will get a voucher for the art class or the art department, right? Of I think it's $2,000, $1,500, $1,000, right? So the winners get that, and that will be announced on the 9th of April. Now, I just want to plug in here, that occasion on the 9th of April is also simultaneously the launch of a very auspicious event this year, right? We call it the Tobago Green Heritage Celebration.
Okay.
And what it signifies is the 250th anniversary of the Main Ridge Forest Reserve when it became legally protected. That was way back in 1776. So this year, we're going to celebrate, right, from April 13th. That was the date, April 13th this year, onto April 13th next year. But that there is a very exciting thing. I don't want to get into much because I might get...
So you might get sidetracked.
But you have to have us back to really lay that out.
Exactly, we will talk about that. But this morning we're really focused on the launch of that secondary school mural competition that will be, well, it's starting today.
Yes.
As you said, the official, what is it? Today is the official registration date.
Well, yes. I don't think all the schools would have registered yet. We're still in that process. Some have, right? So we're still
so
in
just
that,
in case, you know, we have parents, teachers, students looking on, principals. Today being the launch day does not mean that they are running ahead and starting today, but today means that today is one of the days that you can register. So there is a link. If you look on the flyer that we posted, there's a link there, or you can also find the link where?
Oh, you can find it on our social media. Well, of course, the food security social Facebook page.
Right.
And we'll also send it out to the other divisions so that they can share it on their social media as well. But if you need, like someone listening and they really need to get in contact with someone, you can contact Anushka Ramsden at 737-3172. Right? She's the one really championing this project. Right, and not only that, after we would have granted the winners their prizes and so forth, they will then get a $3,500 grant to enable them now to go and put the mural up, install it or paint it in the location that they would have chosen. Well, of course, we'll consult with them in terms of whether it's a school wall or a wall in the village and so on. There have been teams of 5. I didn't mention that. Teams of 5 from each school. And so they now will paint that artistic, interpretation on the wall, or if they choose, they could paint it on canvas first and then install it wherever they choose.
All right. And, finally, before we round up our discussion this morning, I want to say congratulations to you and the team for this initiative and seeing the importance not only of celebrating International Wetlands Day, but engaging the students at the same time. But we know with the advent of new technology, there is the use and the continued use of the AI technology. Are there any restrictions as it pertains to using AI to generate images? Or in this day and age, are we saying it's okay to get some influence or some input, some inspiration from the AI if used ethically?
Well, that's what I'm thinking, because, AI is here and it's here to stay. We have to integrate it into the way we do things going forward. Now, I didn't see the exact rules, but I'm sure in the guidelines there would be specifications as to, but eventually the art has to be hand-drawn, or, it has to come from you naturally.
Right, so what is submitted is a physical painting.
Yes. Of what you plan to do. Oh, and I didn't mention, there should be a 500-word essay accompanying the submission to explain what it is and how it is you went about coming up with the concept and so on. So it cannot be totally AI generated. And so yes, you can go to AI for inspiration, but then you have to produce it yourselves,
Understand. Because again, we are in a time where it's almost impossible to tell someone do not use AI. Because it's like saying to a secondary school student 5 or 10 years ago, do not use Google. Do not use the internet,
and there was that actually,
But it's you have to think about it. You have to consider it, and you have to integrate it into all aspects of the society, right? And again, we want to thank you so much, you and your team, Mr. Lovelace, for this initiative, and we look forward to you coming back and talking to us about the launch of that.
That 250 celebration. Yes. So we have a lot to say on that.
Excellent. Well, again, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we're moving speedily on ahead. After this, see you soon.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Tobago, it's Carnival. The Vibe, the event space formerly known as Shade, for the court Tobago. Said, let's celebrate Carnival. Bring your coolers every Friday and Saturday, starting from Friday the 30th of January till Carnival week, and pay $50 at the door with your cooler all night. No ice, no chaser allowed. Top DJ and artists passing through every Friday and Saturday. To pre-book your cabanas, call 369-6414 and 394-3612 or email iwamg@gmail.com. And this promotion is going on until Easter. Gates open at 9 p.m. It's rum, it's bacchanal. Bring your coolers and come.
Been down this road before. All that left is rum and bacchanal. This is carnival.
Long time I see you, Joe. This station complete. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Steven to see about them. Yeah. Total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about that. You just leave Jada to see about Kira and Kayla? I thought it was your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before your Ramajé, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. This morning we jump straight ahead into our conversations, and as you know, this week, Thursday night to be specific, the 5th of February, the Tobago House of Assembly celebrates the Interdepartment Competition. And if you don't know, that's the Calypso and Personality Competition. And that's usually one of the most competitive seasons within the Tobago House of Assembly and some of its other stakeholders within the public sector. And meaning that you can look out for other organizations like the Water and Sewage Authority, the Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission, as well as the Fire Service and even the TTPS. This morning, we have some lovely ladies joining us this morning from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Actually, we have the Calypsonian that would be representing the TTPS in the form of Miss Kim Franklin, as well as Miss Rakisha Small, who will be the personality. Good morning, ladies, and welcome.
Good morning, and thanks for having
Right.
us.
Are you feeling like winners this morning?
Of course. Always.
All right. Now, we know that, as I said in my intro, this is a highly competitive season, and people play no jokes about interdepartment. They come, they have their flags, they have their jerseys, their cooler, and they're ready to represent their organization. And so tell us a bit about what we can look forward to from the TTPS, Ms. Franklin, specifically when it comes to your Calypso.
Okay, so good morning again. I must say that this is the first time I've written a song for myself.
Okay.
So my song was written by me. My song is entitled Unlawful In-Laws. It was, of course, an inspirational song. So I'm going to be singing with passion, with vigor, with zest. Because we all know that Interdepartment is Tobago's biggest carnival show. So I'm coming, I'm be hitting the ground running. I'm going to be leaving some talk, but say we're all that in the game.
Excellent. And I like that. I like that you're playing on a topic that could be relatable to so many persons.
Yes.
We look forward to that level of comedy, but realness and relatability that leaves an impact on the crowd. And we know usually when it comes to Calypso, and particularly interdepartment Calypso, there's always that star quality or a hit quality for those songs that the audience can easily catch on with and sing along to. So when you have that really catchy chorus that when you reach there, before you could even squeak a note, the audience is singing it before you. You know that you have a good Calypso. And so we look forward to seeing that performance. But before we move on to Miss Small and the personality competition, tell us a bit about what the Calypso component really means for you and bringing quality to that competition, because you indicated that you wrote your song for yourself.
Yes, I did.
And if we look at the history of the competition, we have seen that over the years, persons have commented on the fact that the standard of the Calypso has dropped or reduced because persons were more focused on putting forward lewd content that seemed funny but lacked substance. Tell us a bit about where you stand in that.
When it came to my song, I more or less focused on, as an officer, you are limited with the way you respond to persons. So this is my response in song.
Right.
I am not lewd. I'm being truthful. And one of my lines at the end of it says, don't vex with me because I tell you the truth, but I'm going to be truthful. I believe that this is relatable to a lot of persons. I may not have your exact scenario, but I'm just outlining some things. As officers, you do get reports, you do experience things. So I put it in song. I made it short, only 3 verses, but I think it's relatable nevertheless.
All right. Well, I just want you to know that Tobago Updates and myself will be front and center, and we will be really looking forward to hearing about those unlawful in-laws. Moving over to you, Rakisha Small, you are the personality here representing the TTPS. And usually interdepartment calls for big personality. Does this reflect you on a personal level, or is this taking you a bit outside of your comfort zone? And how do you plan to, bring this out on stage come Thursday night?
Well, I will be honest with you. It is taking me out of my personality. I'm usually down to earth, quiet. But now I am challenged with coming out of that character and displaying a new character, one that people are not accustomed to.
Right.
Right? Say, for instance, that photo that is going around with me from the photo shoot, plenty persons messaging me, that is you or that is your sister? I said, no, that is, even my children, they are shocked at the photo. So I would say there will be definitely another character coming out of me that is shocking to persons who know me.
Right. And we always like that shock factor, where persons can't tell is you until afterward, and they're like, wait, that was you? I don't believe it was you. And so we look forward to that as well. What do you think is important for you to embody coming into this competition and knowing that the competition is very stiff come Thursday night? What would you say would separate you from the rest of competitors?
So the TTPS is always, there's always a stigma about the TTPS, right? So coming out of this competition, I am hoping, I am sure that persons will get a different perspective of the TTPS, and that is my intention for the competition. So I am hoping that on the night that my message comes across very clear to the public and they understand that TTPS are not devils.
Right.
Right? Our daily responsibilities has given us so many challenges, unforeseen challenges that we didn't even expect ourselves. And the job, it just prepared me enough for this competition, because I know that there are contestants that are really talented, right? And this challenge for me, it comes like a norm, because we the TTPS are faced with so many challenges. So I am not afraid. I am confident that the TTPS would come out successful, victorious on that day, and we would put our message across through this interdepartment show, and praying that the TTPS really shines and the public has that better concept of TTPS and bring that love and togetherness within the Tobago space.
Excellent. And I really like that. I like that there's a deeper message there, about bringing the humanity back to the TTPS and helping to shape that positive image of the organization. Because we know there are a number of officers who work very hard, but because of, some reputations of a few, they tend to get a bad rap. And sometimes there are things that happen within the society that place a bad taste in people's mouth that sometimes has nothing to do with the average police officers, but there are always those positive stories where you hear about officers stopping off on the highway and helping women, in labor, and all these other stories that help persons to understand that there is light at the end of the tunnel. So we are hoping that come Thursday night, there's a deeper message, there's a deeper level of connection, and that there's a lasting impression on the minds of Tobagonians. Is there anything that you ladies want to say as it pertains to encouraging persons to come out and support the TTPS come Thursday night?
Well, first, I would like to say that when you come to view this competition, it's not just all about Pekong, but I hope that the public really listens to our message and understand what we are portraying on the night and the message that we are sending to the public about the TTPS, and to shy away from the negative and only think about the positive, because at the end of the day, the TTPS is here to help you. And you are to help us, the TTPS, to help you. So that is my message. shy away from the negative and think about the positive outcome where the TTPS is concerned.
Excellent. And what about you?
All I would like persons to remember, wear blue. Whatever color you're repping, you wear your color, come out strong and support, and remember we are all friends, we are not enemies.
Excellent. and that, ladies and gentlemen, you heard from our Calypsonian, Miss Kim Franklin and Miss Rakisha Small representing the TTPS. We're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back with much more conversations on the interdepartment competition. Coming up, we're chatting with the ladies from the Division of Finance, Trade and the Economy in the persons of Afisha Lincoln, the Calypsonian, and someone who you know here very, very well, my colleague Renessa Ortiz. See you after this break.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Tobago, it's Carnival. The vibe. The event space, formerly known as Shade, for the court Tobago, said, let's celebrate Carnival. Bring your coolers every Friday and Saturday, starting from Friday the 30th of January till Carnival week, and pay $50 at the door with your cooler all night. No ice, no chaser allowed. Top DJ and artists passing through every Friday and Saturday. To pre-book your cabanas, call 369-6414 and 394-3612 or email iwamg@gmail.com. And this promotion is going on until Easter. Gates open at 9 p.m. It's rum, it's bacchanal. Bring your coolers and come.
Been down this road before. All that left is rum and bacchanal. This is Carnival.
Hair goals, we've got 'em. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam. You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Ladies and gentlemen, what you are looking at right now is an overhead image of the Wilson Road traffic light on the Claude Noel Highway. And you know, usually around this time there is a bit of a build-up heading east every single morning. That's one thing that you can expect for sure anytime around 7:30 a.m. till about 9 a.m. And so if you are heading eastbound on the Claude Noel Highway and you are anywhere between that Bishop's walkover to the Wilson Road traffic light, you know there's always that slow moving traffic, and we have that traffic that is actually at a halt as we speak. Now, I don't think that you'll be sitting and waiting in traffic for too long, but there is definitely a delay there. You know, I always recommend that you take that Spring Garden traffic light and take the right onto the old road and get into Scarborough if that's your destination. It's always an easier, quicker way to get in. So what we're looking at here now is at that Spring Garden gas station traffic light there. So that's that Spring Garden traffic light. And there's always a slow moving traffic heading eastbound as well at this traffic light, but not as much as the Wilson Road traffic light, as you can see. But if you are heading westbound, you know that the highways are free and you have no problem sitting in traffic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we jump straight ahead into our discussion this morning, and we're still talking about the inter-department competition. And as you know, this is one of the most highly competitive seasons among the Tobago House of Assembly and other public sector organizations here on the island. And this morning I have the privilege of chatting with the ladies from the Division of Finance, Trade and the Economy in the persons of Afisha Lincoln as well as Miss Renesia Ortiz. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Renessa, you are here in the capacity of the personality this morning. And you know that I'm not going to make it easy on you at all this morning. All right. And so I'm obviously going to start off with you. You are the personality representative for finance, but you have an extensive background in pageantry, and you would have represented Tobago before in Miss World competitions and other pageants of that nature. So tell us, is it fair? Is it fair to the rest of ladies that we have a full-on professional pageant girl in the competition? Tell us about it.
Yes, I believe it is fair, mainly because each competition or each sphere that you enter, there's a different culture behind it. Pageantry is more of a down-to-earth, more polished, more refined. You would hear the the way you speak. There's a certain culture that is expected of you when you are in the pageantry realm. Whereas we're talking about interdepartment now, this is about culture, this is about Tobago's heritage, and that calls for a completely different set of skill sets. So you cannot compare my pageantry experience to going up for interdepartment. And as you mentioned in the interview earlier, it's about personality, showing how big you can be on the night for persons to be shocked and say, oh wow, I didn't know that this person was capable of this. Pageantry is completely different, so I don't think that it's an unfair advantage.
Okay, excellent. And let's talk to your colleague, Afisha. You were the personality last year, and now you have transitioned into the role of Calypsonian. Tell us a bit about that transition for you, and you know, what would you be bringing to the competition?
As everyone knows, I'm a performer. I love to perform. It is in my DNA, and I can't get away from it. I tried the personality last year. That's not my spec, but okay. I still did it. And this year I was like, let me get the Calypso a little try. It's something that I did when I was in like primary school, early high school, and I loved it. So I was like, this year I'm going to give it a little try, see how it goes, dip my toes.
And you know, I always like to ask about raising the standard and the quality of the Calypso. Did you write your own Calypso? And what are you doing this time around to ensure that you raise the overall quality of the Calypso that are in the competition?
So my Calypso this year was written by Mr. Gilbert O'Connor, Happy. This year, I wanted the approach of I'm tired of the slackness and all of that. I'm not giving away what I'm singing.
Yeah.
But I wanted something that gave me quality. Still a little humor, still a little, but we're touching issues that affect us as a people. But I'm bringing it across in a kind of dry humor way.
Okay, yeah. Well, I just hope that persons catch the humor, because sometimes you could have it all down pat, but unless persons are able to really catch on, then you know you may have lost the whole essence of the messaging. So I really hope that persons get where it is that you're coming from. As I indicated earlier, Renessa, when it comes to this competition, it's so competitive, but it also calls for that big personality. You know, you do have your experience, but is this outside of your regular personality? Are you outside of your comfort zone, or are you right where people don't know that you are?
Now, that is a very interesting question, because I believe humans are multidimensional.
Right.
And I believe for certain spaces, it requires a certain level of decorum and behavior. And there are persons who know me unprofessionally as there are persons who know me professionally.
Right.
So I would say that what is going to be seen on the night isn't anything outside of my comfort zone per se, because I've had one of my friends say, Renessa, they really don't know the individual on this side. They only know the polished version that they see presented to them on a morning or on the pageantry stage. And that is okay. I think that you're able to express yourself in different ways depending on who is present based on the setting that you are in. So I would say we'll just have to wait and see on the night.
All right. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited because I will be here in my we will be broadcasting the show live. Tobago Updates will be bringing it to you live as well. But I'll also be representing my division, you know. But I'm not gonna let the cat out of the bag, because I don't want anybody to think that my assessments are biased. But we will be there and we will be looking on, encouraging. We'll be laughing. We'll be cheering. I will be one of those persons who would have to cheer for multiple divisions because, you know, I know everybody and I'm supporting everybody. Tell us a bit about, you know, the impact that you want to have, both of you, with your Calypso, Afisha, as well as your presentation, Renessa.
I think one of the selling points for this year and my reason for actually participating was the fact of the changes in some of the rules with regards to vulgarity. I think as much as we dive so much into Pekong here on the island and that banter that we have, that we are so synonymously known for, being able to do that in a healthy way, where it is you're not condemning someone or coming down on them, because that's something I really don't like. And being able to do that in a healthy way, it was the selling point for me to actually be a part of the competition this year. So in terms of what my impact is, I hope that coming out of this, it's clean fun. It is an opportunity to show healthily how you can compete in a space and everyone giving their best, and at the end of the day, you come out still being respectful to one another.
Right. And what about you, Afisha? You are not new to the stage, right? You are the stage, and the stage is you.
Yes.
So we look forward to seeing your performance, and the people know you when they know Afisha. But finally, as I asked Renessa, what do you hope that your impact of your performance would be?
What I'm hoping is that persons will see that for me this year, it challenged you to be creative, but creative in a way that challenges especially Calypsonians. Your writing skills, the way you use your double entendre and your picong, it doesn't have to be disrespectful, but it can be put across in a much clean and pleasant manner and still have the impact that you're intending for.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I want to wish you ladies all the best, and we look forward to seeing you. We look forward to seeing you, all Tobago Updates family. We will be there behind you, Renessa, as well, Afisha. We look forward to hearing your calypso, the creativity. I think it's going to be a really exciting competition. The ladies that I've spoken to thus far, it seems like it's going to be a tight one, and one that would be difficult for the judge to call. And so we always like those type of competitions. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you so much for being with us this morning. We want to thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Chanel Felix, and have a great day.
We are people in the sun.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television.